The deafening roar of the ship's engines filled Liam's ears as he fought to regain control. Warning lights flashed across the cockpit, bathing his face in an eerie red glow. The sandy surface of Aquilion loomed ever closer through the view screen. Come on," Liam muttered, his knuckles white as he gripped the controls. The ship shuddered violently as it entered the planet's atmosphere. Sweat beaded on Liam's forehead as he struggled to slow their descent. With a bone-jarring impact, the ship slammed into the planet's surface. Liam's head snapped forward, then back against his seat. His vision blurred as the ship skidded across the sand before finally grinding to a halt. For several long moments, Liam sat motionless, his chest heaving as he caught his breath. As the adrenaline faded, pain bloomed across his body. He winced, gingerly touching a tender spot on his forehead. "Status report," he croaked, his voice hoarse. The ship's AI responded in a calm, feminine voice. "Hull integrity compromised. Life support systems operating at 37% capacity. Oxygen reserves at 62% and declining." Liam's heart sank. Engines? Inoperable. Extensive damage to propulsion systems. Communications? Long-range communications offline. Short-range transmitter functional, but limited. Liam closed his eyes, taking a deep breath. When he opened them again, determination glinted in their depths. "All right, let's see what we're dealing with." He unstrapped himself from the pilot's seat, grimacing as his bruised body protested. Limping to the rear of the ship, Liam grabbed an emergency pack and donned an environmental suit. With a hiss, the airlock opened, and he stepped out onto the alien world. The harsh glare of twin suns assaulted his eyes. Sand stretched as far as he could see in every direction, broken only by jutting rock formations. The heat was oppressive, even through his protective suit. Liam surveyed the damage to his ship. The hull was crumpled and scorched, with jagged tears exposing the inner workings. He let out a low whistle. "Well, she's not winning any beauty contests, but at least she got me here in one piece." As he circled the ship, movement caught his eye. Liam froze, squinting at a nearby dune. For a moment he thought he saw a flash of blue. He shook his head, attributing it to the heat and his recent head injury. "Focus, Collinson," he muttered to himself. "Find shelter, assess supplies, then worry about the local wildlife." Liam spotted a rocky outcropping in the distance that looked promising. He grabbed what supplies he could carry and set off across the shifting sands. The trek was grueling, and by the time he reached the rocks, his suit was drenched in sweat. To his relief, he found a small cave opening. Liam ducked inside, relishing the cooler air. He set down his supplies and did a quick sweep of the cave. Satisfied it was empty, he removed his helmet and took a deep breath. "Home, sweet home," he quipped, his voice echoing in the empty space. As Liam began to unpack his meager supplies, a sound from outside made him freeze. It was faint, but unmistakable voices. He crept to the cave entrance, peering out cautiously. His jaw dropped. 3 women stood examining his crashed ship, but these were no ordinary women. Their skin was a deep, mesmerizing blue that seemed to shimmer in the sunlight. They moved with a fluid grace that was almost hypnotic. Liam's scientific mind raced. Humanoid, clearly intelligent, adapted to the harsh environment. But it was their beauty that truly struck him. They were stunning, with delicate features and curves that would make a supermodel jealous. One of the women turned, her gaze sweeping across the landscape. Liam ducked back into the cave, his heart pounding. He took a deep breath, steeling himself. First contact. This was what he'd trained for. Stepping out of the cave, Liam raised his hands in what he hoped was a universal gesture of peace. "Hello," he called out, his voice cracking slightly. "I come in peace." The women whirled to face him, their expressions a mix of surprise and curiosity. One of them, slightly taller than the others, took a step forward. She spoke, her voice melodic but completely incomprehensible to Liam. He tapped his chest. "Liam. My name is Liam." The tall woman cocked her head, then mimicked his gesture. "Zira," she said, her voice rolling the R in a way that sent a shiver down Liam's spine. "Zira," he repeated, smiling. "It's nice to meet you." Zira turned to her companions, speaking rapidly. Liam caught the word Liam amidst the flow of alien syllables. The other two women approached, their eyes roving over him with undisguised fascination. Liam cleared his throat, suddenly very aware of how different he must look to them. "I, had a bit of an accident," he said, gesturing towards his crashed ship. "Any chance you ladies know a good mechanic?" The joke fell flat, met with blank stares. Liam sighed. "Right. Language barrier. This could take a while." Zira stepped closer, reaching out to touch Liam's face. He flinched slightly, but held still as her cool fingers traced his features. Her skin was incredibly smooth, almost silky. Up close, he could see subtle patterns in the blue of her skin, like swirling eddies in a calm sea. "Beautiful," Zira murmured, the word clear despite her accent. Liam felt heat rise to his cheeks. "Thanks. You're not so bad yourself." A smile tugged at Zira's lips, as if she understood the compliment if not the words. She turned to her companions, nodding. Before Liam could react, they had surrounded him. Strong hands gripped his arms and he found himself being led away from the cave. "Whoa, wait a minute," Liam protested, digging his heels into the sand. "Where are we going?" Zira placed a reassuring hand on his chest, her touch sending an electric thrill through him. She pointed towards a distant shimmer on the horizon. "Home," she said simply. Liam hesitated. His training told him to be cautious, to not leave his shelter and supplies. But his curiosity and the allure of these fascinating beings won out. He nodded, allowing them to guide him across the dunes. As they walked, Liam tried to initiate conversation, pointing at objects and naming them. The women were quick learners, repeating the words with varying degrees of success. In turn, they taught him their words for things. By the time the settlement came into view, Liam had cobbled together a rudimentary vocabulary. The city was a collection of domed structures that seemed to grow organically from the landscape. People stopped to stare as Liam was led through the streets. He saw more of the blue-skinned inhabitants, including men who regarded him with a mix of suspicion and curiosity. They arrived at a large central building. Zira spoke to a guard who nodded and opened the door. Inside, Liam found himself in a cool, dimly lit chamber. At the far end sat a regal woman on a simple throne. Her skin was a deeper blue than the others, with intricate patterns that seemed to pulse with an inner light. Zira bowed, nudging Liam to do the same. "Mara," she said, gesturing to the enthroned woman. "Leader." Mara studied Liam intently, her gaze seeming to pierce right through him. When she spoke, her voice was rich and authoritative. Zira listened, then turned to Liam. "Mara want know why you here," she said haltingly, her brow furrowed in concentration. Liam took a deep breath. "I'm an explorer," he said slowly, using gestures to help convey his meaning. "My ship crashed. I need help to repair it and return home." Zira relayed this to Mara, who nodded thoughtfully. She spoke again, at length. Zira's eyes widened and she turned to Liam with a mix of excitement and apprehension. Mara say you must join Sand Unity, Zira explained. Ancient custom. Outsider must mate with unmarried women of tribe for genetic diversity and spiritual unity. Liam blinked, certain he had misunderstood. I'm sorry. What? You want me to, with all the unmarried women? Zira nodded solemnly. Is great honor, necessary for tribe survival. Liam's mind reeled. This had to be a joke, some kind of alien hazing ritual. But the serious expressions on the faces around him said otherwise. He ran a hand through his hair, trying to process this bombshell. And if I refuse? He asked hesitantly. Zira's expression darkened. Then no help, no return home. Liam's shoulders slumped. He was trapped with dwindling supplies and a broken ship. These people were his only chance of survival, let alone returning to Earth. But could he really participate in this ritual? It went against everything he believed about respecting other cultures and ethical scientific practices. As if sensing his inner turmoil, a new voice spoke up. Perhaps I can help explain. Liam turned to see another woman approaching. She was older than Zira, with a serene grace that immediately put him at ease. Her eyes held a wisdom that seemed to transcend the language barrier. I am Aaliyah, she said, her command of English surprising Liam. I have studied your language and customs. The Sand Unity may seem strange to you, but it is vital to our people's survival. Liam nodded slowly. I understand its importance to you, but surely you can see how it might be problematic, from my perspective. Aaliyah smiled gently. Of course, but consider this. You have brought new genetic material to our isolated world, material that could help us adapt and thrive in this harsh environment. In return, we offer you sanctuary, resources, and the knowledge of our people. When you put it that way, Liam muttered, a wry smile tugging at his lips. He looked around the chamber, at the faces watching him expectantly. His gaze lingered on Zira, who offered an encouraging smile. With a deep breath, Liam straightened his shoulders and turned to Mara. I accept, he said firmly. I will participate in the Sand Unity ritual. Aaliyah translated, and a cheer went up from the assembled Aquilians. Mara nodded approvingly, a small smile gracing her regal features. As the excitement died down, Liam leaned closer to Aaliyah. So, when exactly does this ritual take place? Aaliyah's eyes twinkled with amusement. Preparations begin immediately. Liam's eyes widened. That soon? But I haven't. Zira appeared at his side, linking her arm through his. Do not worry, she said, her accent thick but her meaning clear. I will help prepare you. As Zira led him from the chamber, Liam couldn't help but wonder what exactly he'd gotten himself into. But as he looked at the mesmerizing blue-skinned woman beside him, he found himself strangely excited for what lay ahead. Well, he muttered to himself, this is certainly one way to boldly go where no man has gone before. As Zira led Liam out of the chamber, the bustling activity of the settlement surrounded them. People moved with purpose, their blue-skinned forms blending seamlessly into the alien landscape. Liam's mind raced with conflicting thoughts, but he kept pace with Zira, her hand firm and reassuring on his arm. They arrived at a modest structure, slightly apart from the main cluster of domes. Zira guided him inside, the air cooler and the light dimmer. The room was sparsely furnished with simple woven mats and soft, glowing orbs providing illumination. Zira gestured for Liam to sit on one of the mats, and he complied, his heart pounding in his chest. Zira moved gracefully, her movements almost hypnotic. She turned to face him, her eyes locking onto his. Liam could feel the intensity of her gaze, and for a moment, he was lost in the depths of her shimmering blue eyes. "Prepare," she said softly, her voice carrying a melodic quality that sent a shiver down his spine. Zira began to move rhythmically, her body swaying with a fluid grace that captivated Liam. Her hand slowly undid the fastenings of her garment, letting it slide from her shoulders to pool at her feet. She stood before him, completely exposed, her blue skin glowing softly in the ambient light. Her beauty was otherworldly. Every curve and contour of her body was perfectly proportioned, her skin smooth and unblemished. Subtle patterns of lighter blue swirled across her form, like delicate tattoos that accentuated her natural allure. Her hair, dark and flowing, framed her face and cascaded down her back. Liam couldn't help but be entranced by her, every movement drawing him deeper under her spell. Zira continued to dance, her body a symphony of motion. She moved closer to Liam, her hands gliding over his shoulders, tracing the lines of his muscles through his shirt. The scent of her, a mix of alien spices and something uniquely her own, filled his senses. Liam felt his resistance waning, his rational thoughts being overtaken by a primal desire. She leaned in, her lips brushing against his ear as she whispered, "Trust." Liam's breath hitched, his body responding to her closeness. He reached out, his fingers grazing her skin, marveling at its softness. Zira's hands moved to his shirt, deftly unbuttoning it and pushing it off his shoulders. She explored his chest with gentle, curious touches, her eyes never leaving his. Their lips met in a tentative kiss, a spark igniting between them. What started as a soft exploration quickly deepened, their need for each other growing with every passing second. Liam's hands roamed over Zira's body, feeling the warmth and the smoothness of her skin. She responded in kind, her touch both tender and insistent. They moved together, a seamless blend of passion and connection. Zira guided Liam with a gentle confidence, her movements deliberate and assured. As their bodies intertwined, Liam felt a profound sense of unity, a merging of two souls in a moment of pure intimacy. The air around them seemed to vibrate with an energy that Liam had never felt before. Every touch, every caress was charged with a significance that went beyond mere physical pleasure. It was as if they were communicating on a deeper level, their bodies speaking a language that transcended words. Zira's breathy moans filled the room, mingling with Liam's own gasps of pleasure. Their rhythm quickened, each movement bringing them closer to a shared climax. Liam's world narrowed to the sensation of Zira's body against his, the heat of her skin, the sound of her voice. With a final, shuddering thrust, they reached their peak together. The release was overwhelming, a cascade of sensations that left Liam breathless and trembling. Zira clung to him, her body quivering in the aftermath of their shared ecstasy. For a long moment they lay entwined, their breaths slowly returning to normal. Zira's head rested on Liam's chest, her fingers tracing idle patterns on his skin. Liam felt a deep sense of contentment, a connection to Zira that was both physical and emotional. "Thank you," Zira murmured, her voice a soft whisper against his skin. Liam kissed the top of her head, his arms tightening around her. "Thank you," he echoed, his voice filled with gratitude and awe. In that moment, surrounded by the alien beauty of Zira and the lingering warmth of their intimacy, Liam felt a sense of belonging. He had come to Aquilion as a stranger, an outsider, but now, in the arms of Zira, he felt a profound connection to this world and its people. The serene moment dissolved as Aaliyah appeared, her presence electric and demanding. She stood before Liam, her gaze unwavering and intense. There was no hint of embarrassment or modesty in her eyes as they traveled over his unclothed form. Liam, suddenly acutely aware of his nakedness, scrambled to dress himself. His fingers fumbled with buttons and zippers, his movements clumsy under the weight of Aaliyah's stare. All the while, she remained motionless, her eyes never leaving him. The air between them crackled with unspoken tension. Aaliyah's gaze was filled with undisguised desire, her breathing slightly quickened. She made no move to avert her eyes or give Liam privacy, instead drinking in every detail of his form as he hurriedly clothed himself. As Liam finally finished dressing, their eyes met. The intensity of Aaliyah's gaze left him breathless, a mixture of vulnerability and excitement coursing through him. Without a word, she took his arm, leading him away. As the twin suns of Aquilion crept towards the horizon, Liam found himself in a dimly lit chamber, surrounded by the soft glow of bioluminescent fungi. Aaliyah sat cross-legged before him, her azure skin shimmering in the ethereal light. "The sand unity is more than mere physical coupling," Aaliyah explained, her voice a soothing melody. "It is a melding of minds, a sharing of souls." Liam shifted uncomfortably. "Right. No pressure or anything." Aaliyah's lips quirked in amusement. "Relax, Liam. Clear your mind. Feel the energy flowing through you, connecting you to everything around you." "I'm an astronaut, not a Jedi," Liam muttered, but he closed his eyes and tried to focus. For several moments, nothing happened. Then, like a static charge building, Liam felt a tingling sensation at the base of his skull. His eyes flew open, meeting Aaliyah's intense gaze. "What was that?" he gasped. "The first stirrings of our telepathic connection," Aaliyah replied, her skin flushing a deeper shade of blue. "You're more receptive than I expected." Liam grinned. "I've always been a quick study, though usually with less mind-melding involved." As the days passed, Liam's training intensified. He learned to open his mind to send and receive simple thoughts. It was exhilarating and terrifying in equal measure. One evening, as they practiced by a tranquil oasis, Liam noticed Aaliyah's skin shifting from a serene aquamarine to a vibrant cobalt. "Your skin," he blurted out. "It's changing color." Aaliyah blinked, then laughed. "Ah, yes. Our skin reflects our emotions. It's a form of nonverbal communication." "Fascinating," Liam murmured, leaning closer. "So what does this shade mean?" Aaliyah's skin darkened further, almost indigo now. "It means, I find your curiosity endearing." Liam felt heat rise to his cheeks. "Well, that's handy. On Earth, we have to rely on much subtler cues, like, say, telling someone they look nice and hoping they get the hint." "How inefficient," Aaliyah teased. "Perhaps we should add some lessons in Aquilian flirting to your training regimen." As the day of the ritual approached, Liam's understanding of Aquilian culture deepened. He learned of their struggles against the harsh desert environment, of the fragile balance they maintained with their ecosystem. "The sand unity isn't just about genetic diversity," Zira explained as she showed him their hydroponic gardens. "It's a reminder of our connection to each other and to the planet. Without it, we might have torn ourselves apart long ago." Liam nodded thoughtfully. "It's incredible how you've adapted. On Earth, we'd probably just try to terraform the whole planet." Zira's brow furrowed. "Terra? Form?" "Yeah, change the environment to suit us rather than the other way around." Zira's skin paled to a washed-out blue. "That sounds unnatural, dangerous." Liam opened his mouth to argue, then paused. He thought of the pollution, the resource depletion, the countless species driven to extinction on Earth. You know what? You might be onto something there. The night of the ritual arrived all too soon. Liam stood at the edge of a vast circular arena, his heart pounding. Hundreds of Aquilians filled the stands, their skin a kaleidoscope of blue hues in the starlight. The night of the ritual arrived all too soon. Liam stood at the edge of a vast circular arena, his heart pounding. Hundreds of Aquilians filled the stands, their skin a kaleidoscope of blue hues in the starlight. Aaliyah appeared at his side, resplendent in ceremonial robes. "Are you ready?" Liam swallowed hard. "As I'll ever be. Any last-minute advice?" Aaliyah's eyes twinkled. "Just remember, it's not a competition. Focus on the connection, not the mechanics." "Right," Liam chuckled nervously. "Connect, don't perfect. Got it." As Liam stepped into the arena, a hush fell over the crowd. Mara's voice rang out, speaking in the musical Aquilian language. Though Liam couldn't understand the words, he felt their weight, their importance. The ritual began. One by one, unmarried Aquilian women approached him. With each encounter, Liam opened his mind, reaching out with his fledgling telepathic abilities. It was overwhelming, exhilarating, and utterly alien. Hours passed in a blur of sensation and emotion. As the twin suns began to rise, Liam found himself face to face with Aaliyah. Their eyes met, and the world seemed to fall away. The telepathic connection blazed to life, stronger than anything Liam had experienced before. He gasped as Aaliyah's thoughts and feelings washed over him, her hopes, her fears, her growing affection for him. In that moment, Liam understood. The sand unity wasn't about physical pleasure or even genetic diversity. It was about truly knowing another being, about breaking down the barriers that separated individuals. As the ritual concluded, Liam felt changed. He looked out at the assembled Aquilians with new eyes, seeing not aliens but an interconnected community, each individual a vital part of the whole. Aaliyah's hand slipped into his, her skin a warm, pulsing blue. "How do you feel?" she asked softly. Liam struggled to find the words. "Like I've been blind my whole life and I'm finally seeing clearly." In the days that followed, Liam threw himself into helping the Aquilian community. He pored over the data from his ship's computers, looking for ways to apply Earth technology to their unique challenges. "If we could adapt some of our water reclamation techniques," he explained to a group of fascinated Aquilians, "we could dramatically increase your water supply." Zira, who had become a close friend, nodded enthusiastically. "And with more water, we could expand our hydroponic gardens." Not everyone was as receptive to Liam's ideas. A faction of traditionalists, led by a gruff Aquilian named Cord, viewed his presence with suspicion. "These outsider ways will destroy our culture," Cord argued during a heated council meeting. "We have survived for generations without such interference." Liam stood facing the dissenting voices. "I'm not here to replace your ways, but to complement them. Your people are facing extinction. Surely preserving your lives is as important as preserving your traditions." The debate raged on, with Aaliyah and Zira supporting Liam, while others sided with Cord. In the end, Mara made the final decision. "We will allow Liam to implement his ideas," she decreed, "but slowly and under close supervision. We must find a balance between progress and tradition." As the weeks turned to months, Liam's efforts began to bear fruit. Water became more plentiful, crops more abundant. The Aquilians' quality of life improved, and even some of the traditionalists began to come around. Through it all, Liam's relationship with Aaliyah deepened. They spent long nights discussing philosophy, sharing stories of their respective worlds and exploring the depths of their telepathic connection. One evening, as they watched the twin suns set from atop a sand dune, Aaliyah turned to Liam, her skin a swirling pattern of deep blues and purples. "I've never seen that color before," Liam murmured, tracing the patterns with his fingertips. Aaliyah leaned into his touch. "It's because I've never felt this way before. Liam, I think I'm falling in love with you." Liam's heart soared, even as a pang of guilt stabbed through him. He thought of Earth, of the life he'd left behind. Could he really abandon everything for this alien world? Before he could respond, a commotion from the village caught their attention. They rushed back to find the Aquilians in an uproar. "What's happening?" Liam asked Zira, who ran up to meet them. Zira's skin was pale with excitement or fear. Liam couldn't tell which. "A ship!" she exclaimed. "Like yours, but bigger. It's entering our atmosphere." Liam's blood ran cold. He'd almost forgotten about the possibility of rescue. Now, faced with the reality, he felt torn in two. The massive ship touched down just outside the village. As the dust settled, a hatch opened and a group of humans in environmental suits emerged. The leader, a tall woman with graying hair, spotted Liam and broke into a grin. "Lieutenant Collinson, thank God we found you, when we lost contact." She trailed off, taking in the gathered Aquilians, their blue skin shimmering in the fading light. Her eyes widened. "My God, you've made first contact." Liam stepped forward, acutely aware of Aaliyah's presence at his side. "Captain Reeves, it's good to see you." Captain Reeves tore her gaze from the Aquilians, focusing on Liam. "We're here to bring you home, Lieutenant. Your family, your team, everyone's been worried sick." Liam felt a lump form in his throat. Home. Earth. It seemed like a lifetime ago. He glanced at Aaliyah, saw the fear and hope warring in her eyes. Then he looked at the villagers, Zira, Mara, even gruff old Cord. These people who had taken him in, taught him, changed him. Liam began, his voice cracking. "I need some time to think." Captain Reeves frowned. "Think? Collinson, what are you talking about? We're here to rescue you." Liam squared his shoulders. "With all due respect, Captain, I'm not sure I need rescuing." As the implications of his words sank in, Liam felt the weight of two worlds pressing down on him. Whatever he chose, he would be leaving a part of himself behind. The twin suns of Aquilion dipped below the horizon, plunging the desert into twilight. In the gathering darkness, Liam Collinson stood at the crossroads of two civilizations, facing the most difficult decision of his life. The tension in the air was palpable as Liam stood between two worlds, the cool metal of the Earthship contrasting sharply with the warm sands of Aquilion beneath his feet. Captain Reeves's words hung heavy in the air, a reminder of the life he'd left behind. "I understand this is a shock, Collinson," Reeves said, her voice softening. "Take the night to get your bearings. We'll talk in the morning." Liam nodded gratefully, watching as the rescue team retreated to their ship. As the Aquilians dispersed, whispering amongst themselves, Aaliyah approached him, her skin a turbulent mix of deep blues and purples. "You're considering leaving," she said. It wasn't a question. Liam ran a hand through his hair, sighing heavily. "I don't know, Aaliyah. I have responsibilities, people who care about me back on Earth. But here," he gestured around them, "I found something I never knew I was missing." Aaliyah's hand found his, her touch sending a familiar tingle through their telepathic connection. "Whatever you decide, know that you have changed us, Liam. You will always have a place here." As Liam lay awake that night, memories of Earth battled with his experiences on Aquilion. The faces of his family, his colleagues, flashed before him, followed by images of Aliyah, Zira, and the other Aquilians who had become like family. When the twin suns rose, Liam had dark circles under his eyes but a determined set to his jaw. He marched to the Earthship where Captain Reeves was waiting. "Before you say anything," Liam began, holding up a hand, "I need you to see something." Reeves raised an eyebrow but followed as Liam led her and her team into the Aquilian village. He showed them the hydroponic gardens, the water reclamation systems, the solar stills he'd helped design. "These people are on the brink of extinction," Liam explained passionately, "but with our help, they could thrive. Captain, we have an opportunity here to do something truly remarkable." Reeves frowned, her eyes scanning the alien landscape. "It's not that simple, Collinson. There are protocols, regulations. We can't just set up shop on an alien world." "Why not?" Liam challenged. "Isn't this what we dreamed of when we joined the space program? Making contact, learning from new civilizations." Before Reeves could respond, a commotion erupted nearby. Cord, the traditionalist leader, was arguing heatedly with Aliyah and Zira. "You would let these outsiders destroy everything we hold sacred," Cord shouted, his skin a stormy gray-blue. "Our ways have kept us alive for generations." Aliyah stood her ground, her voice calm but firm. "Our ways are killing us, Cord. We must adapt or perish." Liam stepped forward, addressing both the Aquilians and the Earth team. "What if we could find a middle ground? A way to preserve your traditions while embracing new technologies?" All eyes turned to him as he outlined his vision. A cultural exchange program, with Earth scientists working alongside Aquilian leaders to develop sustainable solutions tailored to their unique environment. "We could learn so much from each other," Liam concluded. "This could be the beginning of a new era for both our peoples." A heavy silence fell over the gathering. Then, to everyone's surprise, it was Cord who spoke first. "The outsider speaks with wisdom," he grudgingly admitted. Perhaps there is merit in this idea." Captain Reeves shook her head, but Liam could see the spark of interest in her eyes. "It's not up to me, Collinson. This would need approval from the highest levels." "Then let me make my case," Liam pleaded. "Give me a chance to show them what I've seen here." After what felt like an eternity, Reeves nodded. "All right, we'll send a message back to Earth, but I can't promise anything." The next few days were a whirlwind of activity. Liam worked tirelessly, preparing reports, compiling data, and recording testimonials from the Aquilians. He poured his heart and soul into making the case for continued contact and cooperation between Earth and Aquilion. As they waited for a response from Earth, tensions in the village remained high. The arrival of the Earthship had reignited old debates about tradition versus progress. One evening, as Liam was fine-tuning a water filtration system, he overheard a heated argument between two young Aquilians. "Why should we trust these pinkskins?" one spat. "They'll strip our world bare just as they did their own." "You're a fool, Nax," the other retorted. "Can't you see the good they've already done? Without Liam, half the village would have died in the last drought." Liam cleared his throat, stepping into view. Both Aquilians jumped, their skin flushing a deep indigo with embarrassment. "You both have valid concerns," Liam said gently. "Change is scary, and yes, my people have made many mistakes, but we've learned from them, and with your wisdom to guide us, we can do better here." The young Aquilians exchanged glances, then nodded reluctantly. As they walked away, Liam felt a surge of hope. If he could bridge this gap, maybe there was a chance for true cooperation between their worlds. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the message came from Earth. "Liam, The Aquilian leaders and the Earth team gathered to hear the decision. Captain Reeves' face was unreadable as she delivered the news. "The Council has agreed to a preliminary cultural exchange program," she announced. "A small team will be allowed to remain on Aquilion for further study and cooperation." A cheer went up from the assembled crowd. Aaliyah's hand found Liam's, squeezing tightly. "However," Reeves continued, silencing the celebration, "Lieutenant Collinson, you are ordered to return to Earth for debriefing. Your expertise will be crucial in preparing the next team." Liam felt as if the ground had dropped out from beneath him. Return to Earth. Leave Aquilion. Leave Aaliyah. "How long?" he managed to ask, his voice hoarse. "Minimum 6 months," Reeves replied. "Possibly longer depending on how the program develops." 6 months. Half a year away from this world that had become his home, from the woman he'd grown to love. Liam's mind raced, searching for alternatives, but he knew in his heart what he had to do. Taking a deep breath, Liam addressed the crowd. "I'll go," he said, his voice stronger than he felt. "But I'm coming back. This isn't goodbye. It's see you later." The next few days passed in a blur of preparations. Liam worked feverishly to document everything he'd learned to ensure the next team would be as prepared as possible. All the while, the weight of his impending departure hung over him like a storm cloud. The night before he was set to leave, Aaliyah found him staring out at the desert, lost in thought. "Your mind is troubled," she said softly, her hand on his arm sending waves of comfort through their telepathic link. Liam turned to her, drinking in the sight of her blue skin glowing in the starlight. "I'm afraid," he admitted. "What if things change while I'm gone? What if you forget me?" Aaliyah's laugh was like music. "Oh, Liam, how could I ever forget the man who fell from the sky and turned our world upside down?" Her expression softened. "Our connection goes beyond physical presence. I will be with you, always." As they stood there, foreheads touching, Liam made a silent vow. He would return, and when he did, he would find a way to bridge their two worlds permanently. The day of departure dawned clear and bright. The entire village had gathered to see Liam off. There were tears and laughter, hugs and solemn handshakes. Cord, to everyone's surprise, approached Liam with a grudging respect in his eyes. "You have proven yourself a friend to our people," the old Aquilian said gruffly. "May the sands guide your path home to us." Finally, it was time. Liam stood at the entrance to the Earthship, taking one last look at the world that had changed him so profoundly. His eyes found Aaliyah in the crowd, her skin a swirling canvas of emotion. "I will return," Liam called out, his voice carrying across the hushed gathering. "And when I do, we'll build a future that honors both our worlds." As the ship's engines roared to life, Liam felt a bittersweet mixture of sadness and hope. He was leaving, yes, but he was also taking the first step towards a greater connection between Earth and Aquilion. 6 months later, as promised, Liam returned to Aquilion. He stepped out of the ship, blinking in the harsh light of the twin suns, his heart pounding with anticipation. The village had changed in his absence. New structures blended seamlessly with the old, a visual representation of the merging of two cultures. And there, waiting for him with open arms, was Aaliyah. As they embraced, their telepathic connection flaring to life, Liam knew he was truly home. Together, they climbed to the top of a nearby dune, watching as the twin suns began their ascent. Liam marveled at how his skin, once so starkly different, had taken on a faint blue tinge from prolonged exposure to Aquilion's atmosphere. It would never be as vivid as Aaliyah's, but it was a symbol of his transformation, of the bridge he'd become between two worlds. "So," Aaliyah said, a teasing lilt to her voice, "was Earth everything you remembered?" Liam chuckled, pulling her close. "It was home," he admitted, "but I realized something while I was there." "Oh?" Aaliyah raised an eyebrow, her skin shimmering with curiosity. "Home isn't a place," Liam said softly. "It's where your heart is, and my heart, Aaliyah, has been here all along." As the suns climbed higher, bathing them in golden light, Liam and Aaliyah stood hand in hand, their different colored skins a testament to the beautiful harmony that could exist between their peoples. Before them stretched the vast desert of Aquilion, no longer a harsh alien landscape, but a world of infinite possibility. In that moment, watching the dawn of a new day on a once foreign world, Liam Collinson knew that his greatest adventure was only just beginning.